have him here. But of course, he is ably represented by Imam Lamin Sane, and we'll want to acknowledge the presence of Imam Lamin Sane. Today, two great presenters will emanate from this gathering, and they will come from the Supreme Islamic Council to be led by Imam Lamin Sane, and from the Supreme Christian Council to be led by Pastor Francis Forbes. The National Environment Agency wishes to pay compliment to you all for your effective and committed stance in communicating environmental issues through reportage, sensitization, awareness creation schemes, and through your weekly sermons at different denominations, at churches, and at mosques. Ladies and gentlemen, planet Earth is the only one in the 9 planets in the galaxy where life can exist. But however, this planet has been subjected to many forms of environmental depletion, thus making life on the planet unbearable and challenging. With the conviction that environmental protection is everyone's business, the agency wishes to holistically bring all relevant stakeholders on board for the sustainable utilization of our natural resources for generations not yet born. However, human activities have caused pollution of the air, water, and land, while toxics such as plastic, heavy metals, chemicals, and nitrates have damaged most of our farmlands and our gardens. In addition, the emission of greenhouse gases is on the increase, and it is causing global warming, resulting to rising temperatures, sea level rise, rainfall variation, increase in salt intrusion.
Environment fu mu nekk nii feebar na feebar boo xam ne ñun ñëpp dañu war a nekk docteur waruñoo bàyyi ñu ne diw sangam aw di sangam ñooy docteur yi environment fu mu nekk nii ñun ñëpp war a takkandiga nekk docteur yi environnement bi ko yaaku bi dafa bari te fu mu nekk nii soo seetee suñ marché bi mu ne lu ci gën a ëpp yëpp soo balee sax suñ balee dëkk bi lu ci gën a ëpp mooy plastique nag li moo yaxa bari na mun naa yaxa géej gi te géej gi soo xalaatee ñu bari si ñun ku mun a jënd kilo yàpp ak kilo jën xam naa ne ñi bari kilo jën la ñoo def because moo gën a yomba te fu sa dunda bi yombee soo gisee ñu muy yaaxu kon da nga war a jóg because plastique yi yépp si géej bi soo gisee géej bi yaaxu nga xam ne lu xeew ci kaw la lu xew si suñ dëkk yi ñoo dee dem si ndox bi plastique yeeg yeneen tilim yeeg engrais yi because li ñoo béyee sax am na texa foofu because am na ñi nga xam ne dañ fone soo jóoree engrais foofu la sax lifin yi di non yaa ngi gën a yàq suuf bi tamit soo loolu yëpp problème la soo wax na ne tamit moto yi because fii soo seetee second hand vehicles moto yi nga xam ne dañ daw ba pare Europe loolu la ñoo yónni fii soo ñun am na dëkk yi nga xam ne Sénégal ñoom daanaka su moto bi amee juróomi at seen loi bi nii mënuloo ko indi Sénégal because dañu bëgg a wàññeeku
li ñu wër te ñuy dund ak moom comme ni ko waxkat bi waxee léegi muy environnement bi yàqu su fekkee ñëw na ci environnement bi dafa mel ni comme laal na ñëpp surtout nag l'islam sax ci boppam ndax ñett yi ñu wax ne su yàqoo dara dootul baax te ci loolu lañ tabax àdduna bi muy ngelaw li ak suuf si ak ndox dafa am solo ci diine suñ demee ci wàllu jaww ji jaww bu xasee yàqu kon dafa mel ni comme àdduna yàqu na te alxuraan daf ñu waxoon ne nañ dundal àdduna bi nuñ koy dundalee mooy lépp lu ko yóbbu kanam ñu góorgóorlu ci lu ko dellu gannaaw ñu seet ban solution la ñuy am pour mën koo toppatoo naka noonu tam buñ demee ci wàllu ndox li ñu yàlla jàngal ci alxuraan mooy lépp luy dund yàlla nga ko booleeg ndox kon kenn mënut a dund gannaaw ndox kon ndox mi it war nañoo góorgóorlu naka lañ koy maintenir ko tam set ndax mënoo ko jaamu yàlla gannaaw ndox ñette la mooy suuf si suñ sang bu tedd bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam daf ñu waxoon ne yàlla defal na ko suuf si muy jàkka ñeel na suñ demee nag ba suuf si tilim ba mënatuñ see jaamu yàlla kon dafa mel ni ba tey yàqu-yàqu am na kon ñetti mbir la yoo xam ne islam moom ci boppam daf koo njëkk a protect bala si kenn di wax islam moom fekk jiitu woon na ci bu yàgg ndax lépp lu nekk ci kaw àdduna pour jaamu sa borom subhanahu wa taala loolu moo tax yàlla bind la teg la fi ak noo ko mën a jaamoo kon loolu bi ci lislaam waxee yàgg na kon ci kaw loolu danañ wax ne comme jaww ji toppatoo ko am na solo ndax sa ngërmande la sa diggante ak sa borom benn waay dafa feebar ci lu gàtt rek benn waay dafa feebar ñu yóbbu ko lopitaan moo am fa ab diir ñuy ko jox oxygène xam nga ku dem ba ñuy lay jox oxygène dafa mel ni comme jaww ji fi ne lim moo joxe doyatul la ñu jox ko ay fiw awas biñ pare ñu génneel ko benn këyit boo xam ne dañ ko wax ne ko nangam nga war a fay muy xaalis bu bari mu toog di jooy rek ba mu yàgg ñu ne ko waaw looy jooy ndax dee moom nga ragal.
They reminded people that respect for creation, which has been a traditional value in all cultures, is gradually being disregarded, consequently leading to the wanton destruction of the environment. The religious leaders cited some areas of concern: overexploitation of the earth's resources through the diverse ways of agriculture, surface mining, which is destroying the fertility of the soil at once, clearing of natural habitats for residential purposes, thus threatening the sizable number of plants and animal species, indiscriminate fishing, causing the depletion of marine life. The reasons that necessitated such pronouncements are more visible in our contemporary society. The abuses have continued unabated on a larger scale without regard for life. The insensitivity is driven by greed and the quest for economic dominance. The alleviation of the plight of the people, especially the rural poor, and improving their living conditions is never taken into consideration. The overexploitation of nature is therefore posing a serious threat to the ecosystem designed by the Creator, and thereby undermining the survival of people, their security, and the peaceful coexistence of nations. It is due to the crucial nature of the situation that the ministry has decided to convene this important gathering to speak out and aloud to all, most especially the relevant authorities, that they may see reason in addressing with urgency the issues highlighted. The earth did not come into existence.
In fact, the religious leaders are more important than any other leader per se. Because whatever happened, the religious leaders are called. From naming ceremonies to weddings, you may call it, to funerals, any gathering that have value, religious leaders are called. And sometimes I don't know whether you even have salaries. With the kind of basic schedule that you have, when you want to do something, if religious leaders are not there, if is the pastor not around, they have to wait for you. And this imam also have family, the pastor have family, they have to survive those have family. They have to make sure that they bring something for them. But because your role is very, very critical in our society, and you have a very greater influence, looking at the followers, people tend to respect whatever you say, in wherever denomination that we may find ourselves. I don't know whether there will be a conversation where we have to see how best the religious leaders have to be compensated fully so that they will be able to take care of their families also as well. So your role in any gathering cannot be overemphasized. Basically going through from the churches to mosques to wherever, you are always called. And I think it is also that point that the National Environment Agency found it fitting to engage you on something that is of a collective responsibility. The Imam mentioned something very key. The environment is centered on 3 pillars. That is the air, land, and sea, or water. And we know, as religious leaders, those 3 cardinal points, if they are destroyed, we are finished in one way or the other. And he gave an example, which I want to also to buttress. He said that somebody was sick, and he went to the hospital. And then within that period, he was given some oxygen. And the number of hours that he did for that oxygen, when it was finished, they charged him a bigger bill. And then he started crying. And after they asked, are you a fear of death? But he said, since I was born, the air that I was breathing until this day, so I just came here for this number of hours. But you are giving me this bill. So what am I going to do? So the point is, you can look at it, because sometimes we take things for granted. Because we feel that it is there for us, it's just free. And that's why we can pollute, we can discharge, we can put any kind of thing in the environment, because we don't know the value of it.
That are either Christians or Muslims. And each of these individuals listen to a religious leader, being an imam or a pastor. So it's as if you have the largest number of followers without conditions. For politicians, we cannot have this kind of followers. For your people, for the religious leaders, those that follows you, there's no condition. The condition is that they have to obey the commandments dictated by God, the worshipper. So they listen more to you. So therefore, we cannot do any advocacy, change people's lives and behaviors without engaging you in this endeavor. So that is why I always think that we cannot proceed on this successfully without having you on our side and teaming up with the religious leaders. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we thank God for giving us the opportunity today. Pastor, I thank you for the presentation, in as much as I could not have the time to listen to all the contributions that have been made, and I have no doubt that it all was brilliant and excellent, because whatever is mentioned on the background to say that God says this, or God asks us to do this, is perfect and well. So I missed that opportunity. But again, it's all national duties. Today, I am still on a tour assigned by the Vice President and with other colleague ministers, but I have to take permission and ask one of them to lead the team, whilst I rush to attend to these also important national obligations. So I indulge your patience and understanding for seeing me almost at the tail end of this important mission which I should have been with you from the start. I will do Wolof, small, and then Mandinka. The government is committed to engaging religious leaders in all aspects of our development agenda, knowing fully well that you are not only a partner, but you are also our leaders indirectly. You guide us as to how we govern the people. Because as I mentioned, Gambia, well, it should be wrong to say that we are a religious state, but I mentioned over 95% or more are either Christians or Muslim. It's right to say 98% or 99%, but because I'm talking about figures, I want to be very, 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 very correct. So we all know that more than 95% are either Christians or Muslims. So therefore, no government can work without the cooperation and the support of the religious leaders. And this government is not taking this lightly on our foresights. Ngal tentu bake ngal jeyi ñi mulu nete melan ka fokon te sonna nun alala kitiyo kamma pour nga ay kem janto andu beñi banku kam manna mabe bi mbete bomete mbulo mutare mbakele vice president wala en ki doku wala mbe bantale pour kadulaji budula men ka fokon nin sama keta kada mel batandi bake o fana mu banku doku kum mari mbalti bari ngaje ka fokon ñi lungolota andu ñi mulunde men ka fokon meta ka awosi meta ka nyasi bari alala kitiyo futata ma bile wala kenni ko batu nga kerem fula bayndi fo ala sinde manon si manta benno bel ma bang so woto mbal du ñoo